We're back, and we want to talk to you about being safe in your cyberspace.
It's a really important conversation, I think, that we need to have.
It really is. And my former job was a deputy CIO, worked,
For people who don't know what CIO.
so that's Chief Information Officer in a local government. So dealt with a lot of cybersecurity issues. And the internet can be a scary place.
It can, and it can be confusing, especially now with all the AI stuff coming out, and we keep hearing about companies that are very big and have these really good systems in place,
And yet
yet
get
they
hacked.
get hacked.
Yeah. The statistic that I read was that in the US alone, that cyber crimes
Mhm.
against people over 60 resulted in approximately $1 billion in losses.
1 billion with a B.
Right. Billion with a B. And that's an
Huge.
annual, and that's huge. And that was a 30% increase over the previous year. So
And so that was like in 2020.
that was 2020, and it just keeps going up because the technology gets better. And
Right.
although we have better tools, the cyber criminals have better tools.
They have the same tools. They just use their powers for bad.
They do.
Yeah.
They
Usually
do.
they use it for good.
And most of these things are things where we can prevent a lot of those crimes because what they're after is money. Most of them are not doing this fun. They're not doing it for fame. Those are the big headline stories.
Right.
But really, the bread and butter of cybercrime is, can they get to your money?
That's right.
And they do this through viruses and malware
Yeah.
that they put on your computer and then ask you to pay a ransom to
Yep.
remove it.
And that isn't happening just for individuals. That's happening hospitals,
Hospitals,
governments.
schools.
Yes.
Yeah. And they install the malware and encrypt your files. And then you need to pay to get the key
Yeah.
to unencrypt your files.
And it's not a whole lot. Sometimes, like for individuals, it's like, $100, $300. I say it's not a lot. To some people, that is a lot. I'm thinking like for it, as compared to like hospitals or,
Right.
other.
Right. Or cities or counties,
Yes,
government
yes.
agencies.
Where
Many
they're
of
like
those
asking
are
for
hundreds of
hundreds of
thousands of
thousands,
dollars in ransom. But nevertheless, you don't want to have to
Right.
pay someone to get to
Right.
your information. And so that's malware is what that's called. Those are viruses or malware. And then there's phishing. And phishing, and it's PH,
It's not an
phishing, not the fun kind of fishing.
I don't know. I just saw
Not
a
deep
thing.
sea fishing.
I just saw a thing today or yesterday that said something about the most stressful thing about fishing is that it's not relaxing, or I don't know. I just totally messed that up. But it was something about how fishing will try your patience. And I'm like, yeah,
For competitive
yeah.
people that are like, I've got to catch a fish.
No, just for people like my husband. Because nothing's happening.
Nothing's going on, and
It's
that's
supposed to be
stressful.
relaxing. Yes, that's what it was.
PH fishing.
PH fishing.
And that's where they try to get your credentials. So they're trying to get your login,
Right.
your username, and your password. And they often do that through sending you an email that looks very official.
Yeah, like
And-
Amazon.
And it's got the Amazon
Yep,
logo,
I just got
and
one of those.
it looks very official.
Yep.
And then when you click on it, it takes you to a bogus website.
Yeah.
And it asks for your username and password. Now they have your Amazon
Right.
username and password, and they're off and running.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, many people use that same password.
For
So they're going to try that same username and password on your bank account, on many other places. because they're after profit.
Because you've had that information in your Amazon account, and that's how they
And that's how they,
right.
once they're in, they've
Yeah.
got access to
Yeah.
your
Your
credit card that's on
cards, your
file.
PayPal, your bank account, whatever you
Right.
use. Yeah. That's how that works.
And then another risk is data breaches, where a large company that you do business with has been hacked,
Like the
and
government,
like the government,
which is what happened to
or
us.
like a hospital,
Yep. Yep.
or
Deep
banking
finance. Yep.
institution. We've had a lot of those as well.
Yes.
And they capture all the usernames
Yep.
and passwords. And again, then they sell those
Yep. Yep.
on the dark web
Yep.
and off and running. So those are primary things. There are also other fraud things, and this is probably a separate podcast, but there's social media scams. And I guess the thing I want everybody to know there is don't interact. Don't
They're
interact
bots.
with those. They're bots.
They're
They're not real
bots.
people.
They may have handsome men as pictures, but they're bots.
They're not real
People.
people, and don't even interact to tell them to stop it.
Right.
Delete it,
Right.
report it, be done with it, because they're AI, they're artificial intelligence bots
Yeah.
that are trying to make a connection with
Right.
somebody. So that and banking fraud and
All of those
identity
text
theft.
messages.
Right.
My in-laws got one of those text messages that said your Norton subscription needed to be renewed, and my mother-in-law was like, "Do we use it?" I'm like, "Don't touch that.
Well,
Delete it."
and sometimes it's been renewed,
Yep.
and here's the charge to your credit card.
Right.
It's not yet, but then if they can get you to interact,
Yeah,
they're
that's
going
right.
to ask you
Yep.
for that information to straighten it out for you.
Right. No,
No, beware.
that's right.
So you can't stop these things. They're
Right.
just incredible. They're just there and growing at a 30% growth rate, apparently, which I wish my 401k was growing at that. But
Wow, wouldn't that be amazing?
yeah. But cybercrime is growing. The things that you can do, especially with the viruses and malware,
Right.
that generally comes via a pop-up on your computer or an
Right.
email where you've clicked on something.
Don't click.
If you get an email you're not expecting, one saying we had at work was don't click on crap. Don't click on it. Stop. Don't rush to fix something. So make sure if you are getting an email message that says, oh, your Norton virus or your bank account
Right.
has been compromised, or this is from the police department, and don't stop and go directly to the source. So if you get
And don't
something,
use any links. What she's saying is don't use any links in that
right,
email.
right,
Close that email.
do not click on any links. Do not respond to the email. Do not click on any links. And go to the source.
Right.
And so your example of the Amazon account,
Yeah.
go to Amazon directly with your own
Yep.
link, with your own
Yeah. Go
URL.
Open a new browser, type in Amazon.com, sign into your account, and then see if something's been
Because one of the things
compromised.
that they use to great advantage is scare tactics
Yeah.
and emotion. And they put pressure on you to hurry through
Right.
something.
So you can't think anything. So you're not thinking logically. You're just
Right.
following that fear.
So stop, don't click,
Yep.
go to the source.
Yep.
And on the phishing things, it's the same advice.
Mhm.
Is those look official and they're not. You can generally tell because even though the logo looks official, if you run your mouse over
Just
the
hover
link, it's
over it.
not taking you to that website. And so
No.
you can generally tell. But again, the main thing is just don't interact, don't click. The other thing that is the big money maker for cyber criminals are those passwords that we
Yes.
talked about.
Oh my gosh. It's so wild.
Here's the good news, bad news is you're going to need to use different passwords. You're going to need to not put your password on a sticky note. You're going to need to change your password. And they've
And
got to be complex passwords. And I know this is frustrating. This is so frustrating for people because then you mess up one thing
yep.
and you're trying to put your password in multiple times. They've got to be complex passwords. And by that, what I mean is it needs to have a capital letter, it needs to have a lowercase letter, it needs to have a number, and it needs to have a special character. And don't use the same password on everything.
And how long should those be, do you think? Should they
S-
be like 8, 12?
8 to 9 at the very least. A good thing to use is a phrase. So
So how does that work? Because my
don't use
husband does that.
your address, don't use your birth date, because those are so easy
Right.
to get on public
Right.
records.
So when you say use a phrase,
So
what does that? Because I know, like, I know what that means, but maybe someone out there doesn't understand what it means.
so use a phrase. For instance, you can use something like "I am Spartan" or "I am Sparkle."
I hate changing my password every week.
So the other part of that password situation is you need a password keeper. I was just looking at my passwords, and
Yeah.
even though I don't have work passwords anymore,
Yeah.
I have over 400 passwords
Yeah.
that I need to keep track of. You need to get a password vault, and there are a number of them. We'll put in the information that we have available in the download how to research a password keeper.
I think somebody, though, passed out when you said you had 400. So can you back?
But you start looking at all the
Right.
things that you have passwords
Right.
to, and it seems so easy to just use the same one
Mhm.
because it's some simple thing,
Yep.
but any of those are at risk. So don't do it. It
Even the dumb, I have email accounts that I use for if I'm signing up for something and they're just going to spam me with marketing material, marketing
Mhm.
emails. So I have that
Email
email. And even that, I don't use just a simple password.
because
It's
there's too much information
right
there.
because
There's
you
too much
still have given
information.
information. They're
Mhm.
still tracking you. There's still a way to figure out who you are. And so just don't make it easy for them.
And what I love about some of the new technology is I'm using a lot of face recognition.
I'm afraid to do that. Isn't
It
that silly?
But your face is out there on the internet
It is.
anyway.
That's just it. We're Sparkle Abbey. There's pictures of us everywhere. But I don't want to use my face recognition for my phone. But I think that's just because, and this is just really silly, I need to get over it. But if something happened to me, how will my family be able to open my phone if they need anything? Like they're just going to open my eyes?
Nope, that doesn't work.
No, it doesn't. I use my finger. I use my finger.
So fingerprint works.
Yeah.
Face recognition, there's always the backup of the
Yeah.
password, which again, that password vault, that's something that there's a,
The
one
master.
key.
Yeah.
There's a master password, which you don't want to forget and you don't want to have multiple
Right.
tries on because it'll wipe it
Because
out.
if you forget, you're toast.
Right. So you want to make sure a family member
Right.
does have access to that.
Right.
And I always have a hard copy in the safe
Yep.
as well. But I think it's inconvenient. And so this is something we don't want to
Right.
do
Well, and I think
is
that
the two-factor authentication,
and
which is 2 ways to get into account, which you absolutely should have on
you do.
anything financial on your bank. And it's a pain. You have to do it every single time that you
Yep.
get into your bank account. But that inconvenience of having to
Yep.
do the two-factor authentication to get into your bank account is much less inconvenience than you're going to have if a cyber criminal
Exactly.
gets into your
Steals
bank
your
account.
ID. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think the thing to keep in mind is as you're talking about it's inconvenient, the bad guys are relying on the fact that it's inconvenient and they know that about us. They know that we like quick
They know we're in a
results.
hurry.
Yep. They know that we are impatient. What was it you told me, I don't know, a couple months ago, that studies have now shown we don't even have the attention span of a
Of a
goldfish. It's
goldfish.
less than that. And a goldfish is
Right.
what, 5 seconds?
And a human
It's 3
is
seconds.
3.
Oh, it's so
So
bad.
our attention span is less and less.
Right.
We're in a hurry. We're doing multiple things.
Right.
We have 400 accounts. We have lots of things
We
going
do.
on. And what they're counting on
Yeah.
is all of that.
Yeah.
They're counting on that you're going through and cleaning up emails,
Yeah.
and you're not going to stop and go, wow, I wasn't expecting an email from the
Right.
police. I
Right.
wasn't expecting an email from my bank. And you're going to click on it to see what's this
What it
about.
is. Yeah.
And now you have malware on your computer.
And that's really time consuming and difficult to
Remove.
It's very tedious
Yep.
as someone who's had to do that because I clicked on some. But that was a long time ago. I learned my lesson
And
because it was really tedious.
one of the things that I always said at work is, if you have, then you need to take action.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing
Right.
because, you know, it and trust me, some really smart people
Yeah.
fall for these things
Because they're in a hurry.
because they're in a hurry and it looks legit. The criminals have gotten better.
Yep.
And so we have to have more and more attention on it.
Yep.
So it is unhandy
Yeah.
to do this. It's like locking your door, though. My mom came from a community where nobody locked their doors. And I would have to say, "Mom, you've got to lock your door." And she'd leave her keys in the car as well.
My husband used to do that, but now he has a really nice truck.
And so he doesn't anymore.
No, but he used to.
And so it is. It's like what you're doing is you're shutting the windows and the doors of access to your personal information.
right.
So it's not fun, but it's important,
Right.
and it is not going to go away.
It's not. It's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse. And so we just have to be vigilant.
So we have some tips on all the things that you can do.
Yep.
The advice that I have for seniors is, don't think you can't do this. I hear a lot of, oh, get your grandchild to help you. And
don't
you
need
can
your
do
Yeah.
this is
Look, I've seen you all work in your iPhones. You don't need your grandchild.
you are capable.
Yes.
You are capable. This is not, it's new.
Right.
Some of the things are new and ever evolving, but that's a great time to learn something
Right.
new.
You're retired. I think in an earlier video we did, do you have all the time in the world? Or maybe you don't. You'll have to watch that one to find out.
But you have time to be safe. And,
You do.
And it's
Absolutely.
really important to be safe in your cyberspace.
That's right.
So we will cover some sort of bigger topics like identity theft in a separate podcast, but
I think we could break down a few of those.
yeah,
Definitely.
there's
Yeah.
quite a bit of information, but this is general safety information that we hope is helpful.
Yeah.
If there are some things you'd like to see us cover that we've not covered, let
Yeah.
us know. And you can go to our website to download tips
That we'll
I
have for
mentioned.
you. Yep. And that's yoursilvercircle.com. We'll also have the link below in the show notes. And then if you've enjoyed this and you want to continue going on this journey with us, feel free to hit the subscribe button. Smash that button.
Smash the button.
And then click the little bell to be notified every time we upload a new video.
Thanks for watching. We've enjoyed spending time with you.
Yep.
And until next time,
That's a wrap.
bye.
Bye.